Hey everyone, welcome back to Programming in C# for Beginners. I'm going to be showing you today how to use a tooltip feature with some of these controls. It helped whenever I was building applications back in the day in WinForms. It really gave it that nice sense that you can guide the users into what some of these controls on the actual form are meant to do. So we'll be using tooltips. I'm going to be showing you how to create a menu, and we'll be able to guide the individual in regards to what the application can do. So I've launched a brand new application, so it's an empty form. As you can tell, the name and the text at the top is form 1. So let's go ahead and change that really quick. And what we'll do is, whoops, my microphone fell, so I do apologize about that. We'll say tooltip tutorial, just for the heck of it, right? Whoops. That's not the text, that's just the looking for the text. There it is. We'll do tooltip tutorial. And what I want to do is, whenever there is a form, we'll do, actually I'll go back. Let me close this window here. And what we'll do is, I want to make sure, just like in the other tutorials, that when I do launch the application is actually going to be in the center. So we can go to the properties and we can go ahead and click on this drop down, and then we'll say the center of the screen. So we've done it in code in the past, and what I want to remind you is that if you ever want to, edit any of those properties outside of code, you do have this menu here that you can do it from. So here's the start position, and we're going to go ahead and say center of the screen. So when we hit start, just like in our other tutorial, there we go. And that's just something that I like to do so you guys can see it as it comes up. Okay. Let's do, at the moment, let's go into our toolbox, and we're going to look for a menu strip. So we're going to drag and drop this menu strip. And I really like it because you can start just creating buttons on this menu strip, and they're all like, they'll all collapse within each other, and how you go ahead and create them. So first one we're going to say is just file. Back in the day, we used to have menus that had the word file up on the top left-hand corner, and then we can say, let's say exit. Right, and then here we'll say print. We'll make it look real nice. We'll make it look like something that you would find in an application, right? So, yeah, type out the menu, and then you get a drop-down menu, and you can keep adding buttons here. So we can say save as. We can do save. We can actually add print here. That's usually what we see in applications, and you can drag and drop them in different order if you need to. So I'm going to bring up the print up, the save as, I'm going to bring it down. Yep, and we'll do open. Okay. We'll do open, and let's do a tooltip. This one I'm going to go ahead and delete it. So you can right click on a button and delete it. Okay. And this, this control here has buttons, and it works exactly just like any other button would work. We can go ahead and create an event just by double clicking on it. Let's say exit. There's the exit tool strip menu item that has been clicked. It'll know which item was clicked. At this moment, its name is not the best one, but if we look at the properties down here, we'll see that, let's find the text, and the text is exit, which is pretty much what it is what I typed when I created the button. And then we can see that the name, it's not the greatest name, but it should have a name. So the name is exit toolstrip menu item. And the reason why the name is exit toolstrip menu item is because it was automatically created. It knows that the name of the controls is a toolstrip menu, and it knows that this is a toolstrip menu item, and it knows that I've gone ahead and written exit as the text. So it just decided that it was going to be called exit toolstrip menu item. Okay, so if we double click on that, we have this, and then we can say this dot exit. We can actually just close it. We can actually just close the form. Let's go ahead and try that out. We'll click File, Exit, and it closes the form. Now, I do want to introduce a new, I actually have introduced the message boxes in the past. So let's just add a message box to say, hey, are you sure you want to stop the application from working? So we'll say message box.show, and then we'll say, are you sure you want to close the program? So that's the first parameter. And then the second parameter is going to be, we can tell this is the text to display in the message box. Oh, what's the first parameter? Displays message box in front of specific item. This is the owner. This is the owner of the implementation. Okay, so are you sure you want to close the program? And if we add a third one, we have a caption. So exit will be the caption, and then we'll have the message box buttons. We can actually customize those. So in this case, it'll be message box buttons dot, and here we can choose what we would like the buttons to be. So it can be okay, okay cancel, yes no, yes, or just simply okay. In this case, I'm going to say okay and cancel. And then last but not least, it's asking for a message box icon. I'm going to go ahead and select one, and this will just kind of give the user the idea of what type of message is it. It's an error, information, a warning, a question. In this case, let's just say it's a question. We'll do that. Now it's not happy right now, and I think it has to do with the parameters I've typed in. So we have all these. Let me just say that. So I'm going to say this, because it wants to know who the parent is. Who is the parent of this message box? And in this case, it's this form. So I'm just going to use the word this for the first parameter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say variable is going to be the answer equals, and then I'm going to try to store the answer of whatever they choose. Okay, so I'm going to also console log that out. Oops, we'll do right line, and then we'll say answer to string. Okay, so let's hit the start button. Let's hit the file button, and we'll hit exit. And now we get the question, are you sure you want to close this program? Once again, there's okay or cancel. We have a, we have a small description at the top. We have the actual answer, the icon, and the buttons I selected. So I'm going to say okay. I've hit okay. And the reason why it closed is not so much because I hit okay, but because this line of code executed and then this line of code executed. So let's take a look. So right now we can see that what was console logged out was okay. So we can actually use an if and else statement. So we can say if answer equals, and then this time we're going to use dialog result, because that's actually what's being returned. It's not the actual just text or string called okay. It's actually saying, hey, I'm going to show you a dialog pop-up, and I'm going to ask you a question, and depending on what you select as a button, that's the dialog result. So it's a type, right? So we'll do dialog result. It's actually like an enum. Well, we'll go over those later. And now I have all the options that pretty much represent what the buttons represent. In this case, it's the OK or the yes or the cancel or the no, right? So we know that the button would be OK. And if the button's OK, then we're going to go ahead and say this.close. All right, very well. So now let's go ahead and hit the start button. File, exit. Do you want to close the program? Cancel. And it does not close the program, which is nice. File, exit, OK, and it closes down the program. So now it's working the way it should. I've gone ahead and used the variable or the var keyword as we don't know the type. But now that we know that it's a dialog result, I can actually just say it's a dialog. The answer variable is a type of dialog result, right? So now we have that. Now let's go ahead and add a tooltip to this. If we go to the right and we go all the way to the bottom, I lied, it's not on the bottom, but under behavior, there's a tooltip text property. If we click on that, there's a drop down, and all it is, it's pretty much you can enter like text, right? So close the program and exit. We'll just say that that's what it is. So now when we hit start, we're going to hit file and just hover over it. Oh, I don't get the tooltip. That's funny. Tooltip, visible, true. Oh, auto tooltip. We need to go ahead and select this. And we need to select in the drop down to true. Okay, so it's enabled, and then auto tooltip has to be true. Very, very important. Almost forgot about that. And it's not working. All right. I wonder why. Let's take a look. So auto size is true. Auto tooltip, check on click, double click, enabled, and visible is true. Oh, you know what? I believe there's a tooltip. I haven't actually used tooltips in a long time. I actually have not programmed in Windows WinForms in such a long time. So if anything, this is a refreshing to me. And to be honest, this is what happens in programming. You're going to do things, you're going to forget, you're going to have to look them up. And I've enabled that property, but I do need to drag and drop this tooltip control on the actual form as well. Okay, so now we have this tooltip control. If I remember correctly, I don't need to do anything, so let's give it a try. File. And I'm probably going to have to look at the properties there. Like I said, this is how it goes. So we have a couple options. We can change the back color, the fore color, if it's active or not. In this case, we do show always. Let's go ahead and change that to true. And then we'll use the animation. We'll use fading. And that should be it. Give it another try. Now I'm wondering why the tooltip didn't work, and this is turning more into a message box tutorial. Let's do initial delay. We don't want a delay. We'll do that. There'll be an auto pop delay of 5,000. We don't want that. So it determines the length of the time the tooltip window remains visible. Okay, that's fine. We want to leave that there. And let's give it another try. And our tooltip's just not popping up. So you know what? I'm almost out of time. So what I'm going to do is, I showed you a great way to use message boxes. And in the next video, we'll cover tooltips. I got to refresh on this, and I got to look up how this actually works. It's been a long time since I've used it. So thanks for watching. You know how to use toolboxes and dialog results now, and we'll be using them in the next video as well. But that was a great introduction to it.